So here we have all of this blood, basically, and all this death, and it's all connected again and again. Where does it all connect to? The Royal German Empire and their syndicate. And that's of crucial importance. So we end up having this series of global violent deaths from 1900 forward. We're talking 200 to 300 million people, and I'm going to tell you it's more like 300 plus. So if we're looking about the truth of the global catastrophes and these huge famines, these huge mass murders that occur, you keep running into communism, socialism, and, oh, by the way, the Royal German Empire, and once again, what? Weaponization of data. And this is why some people are so deeply concerned about what's going to happen with AI. So right here, we're tracking basically what happens with data. This is data that's being tracked. This graph tracks data being utilized, how data is being utilized. So, here we have the American Civil War, things were moving along. Then you have a dip. Well, the dip dips down. What happens in the American Civil War? It means the Americans, means that we were busy dealing with things, and we were not as involved in the international markets of certain things. Because of what? Well, the American Civil War. Okay, so that's part of the reason that we have a dip on the data. So the data rising back up is taking on a new understanding, and that deals with different players doing things. So you may have noticed that, in this other stuff back here, we're talking about a lot of stuff right here. This also pertains to blood. That's also a blood chart. Say we're talking about the weaponization of data and blood. The chart looks almost identical. So this is something that is unique that some people have not necessarily put into argument to deal with the base understanding. When did the weaponization of data truly begin, and who was doing the biggest job, the biggest part of that? And that's kind of sort of important, because the people doing the biggest, nastiest stuff, Royal German Empire. So I'm not saying that there weren't other people involved in that stuff, but it's crucially important to understand this if we're going to have a chance to understand AI, because it's crucial, because we have things that are unresolved. We have things that are completely unresolved that we need to get resolved. So basically, I'm the guy, I want to restore citizen assets. And we've got several different groups. The primary groups are Group 1 and Group 2. And Group 1, we are the people who both founded the country and made the Constitution. We can get into, and then we go up to the big land purchases. We bought and paid for it. The government didn't have any money. They were coming to us for the money. We're the investors. We're the stockholders. We're supposed to get the residuals, the dividends on the deals, and land staking, mineral staking. All kinds of stuff. Now, people say it's all available. There's a serious problem, people. And we're going to talk about that serious problem, because you're all getting ripped off. So if we're going to talk about certain things, we need to deal with certain realities, basically. And those realities are crucial because there are lots of them. And yes, so here we have something that's really important. Or president. Now, this and what's important about it is this is for my president. This is basically essentially from my last campaign. This is from my presidential campaign, but I have a California version, basically. So if we're looking at the global economic differential factors of current trajectory versus my plan, the Crosby plan, what we have here is on the left the current trajectory situation that deals with what's going on here, where we have the U.S. in comparison, we have India, China, the global factor, and this is where it stands. Now, what's happening is we're losing ground. The United States is constantly losing ground against the other parties. They are becoming more successful, basically. So when we go to the model that I'm laying out, what ends up happening is the model that I have designed becomes the number one model in the world and rapidly uplifts the entire economy of the United States. And if you'll pardon the point, the trickle down factors are mind boggling as to all the other people that end up winning out of the deal. But basically, this is essentially it, but it doesn't account for other factors where other nations will actually benefit. There's a fixed, I haven't added the series of mathematics required to be able to compute the additional effects to other nations, because it's also beneficial to other nations too. But essentially, as it stands, this is what happens to the economic model. This is the best economic model ever developed in the history of the world. The history of the world. Economic generation in California just the first year, and that's starting out slow. Then we're going to start picking up speed and moving faster and faster again. That's starting it out at point one. So as far as economics go for California right now, I am the best economic candidate for governor in the history of California. Nobody beats me.